Here with Harry Verhaar from the Philips organisation, well-known organisation, here at COP17. How is Philips part of the climate change solution?
Well, certainly we see that we are part of the solution. If you look at our own imprint, but certainly of the products and services we have in healthcare, consumer lifestyle and lighting, then energy efficiency is the area where we can most contribute. Lighting consumes 19% of global electricity. And given that 2/3 of the installed lighting globally in streets and buildings and at homes is inefficient, a global switch to energy efficient lighting, more and more LEDs, can save 40% of energy. And that is simple economics, apart from the ecological contribution to tackling climate change. It's about 670 megatons of carbon dioxide, but it's also 130 billion euros. So there you see a direct economic contribution.
And given that many countries in Europe are suffering economic difficulties, North America the same, how does that feed in? How does this contribution feed into the current situation?
I think it's a very important question to see how this feeds in, because it's not only direct savings for families, for households, for cities and businesses and so forth, but also you see there's a risk today that, that political decisions will be slowed down or are shying away from concrete, ambitious targets. So how much energy efficiency per year, how many buildings, public buildings as well as enterprises are we going to renovate? And one example that I'd like to give is, for instance, for Europe, if we can save 30 billion euros directly on the energy bill. But this also equates to about 140 power plants, and that's a 300 billion euro investment that does not need to be made in creating power infrastructure. And there's also a linkage. If you do more energy efficiency per year, you have to do less. You have to invest less in renewables, which is a task already tremendous, and that plays down to trillions of euros. So there's a multiplier of 10 or more of what you gain in energy efficiency, thereby giving budget relief. So where you see the US debt ceiling, you see European countries struggling with their budgets, this is exactly the solution. So instead of slowing down, saying we have no money, it should be actually speeding up, taking action, reduce budget pressure on energy consumption, and that brings bigger savings, much bigger savings going forward.
I mean, it's described like that, it seems kind of blatantly obvious. It seems like a no-lose situation. Is that message getting through?
I'd say here it's getting through. So in some of the political capitals, not yet sufficiently, but there are 4 factors to take into account. So one, we should communicate, and we do that also in partnerships, that the technology exists. Then secondly, engage in further creation of policy frameworks, but also look at financing as a third driver for change. And thereby, for instance, as Philips, we have financial services available, so that a city that renovates their street lighting or the municipality that renovates their schools and their offices, we can also finance that. So there is no hiccup, and they can immediately benefit from the savings. And then the fourth driver, you could say it's a bit the missing link in this whole process, is communication, so that we talk about the benefits. So how much more attractive is your city going to be, or how much more, let's say, how plays it out in learning effectiveness in a school. So those are things, or how much more relaxing is your situation at home after work. So those are things, that the four things that I think we will further use and further leverage to create more momentum.